Hey guys, I'm looking to start a new series here. Sorry for the bad recording. I'm just recording this on my PlayStation mic, and everything's so quality may not be the greatest. But I wanted to start a series going over the Veer and Shoot. I want to go in depth. It's going to be a multi video series here. I'm going to include mini schemes and pretty much everything that I run. I do it all out of the Tennessee playbook. But I really wanted to, yeah, just let you guys have real football concepts that can carry through not just to this game, but any game. Now, there's a lot of air raid that's used in the veer and shoot. Obviously, run and shoot with the choice routes, but unfortunately, they're not the greatest in this game. But I'll go in depth with all that and everything with you guys. But I wanted to start with the intro with the philosophy and the run game. So the veer and shoot is a spread type offense, but it's a spread to run first offense. Now everyone kind of sees it and sees the big plays in the passing game, and that's really what it's kind of known for. But really, when you boil it down, it's a run first scheme, and then it's got a quick pass game that can lead to big plays. Throughout the course of the game. So the quick passing game is also an extension of your run game. And there's a few different types of runs. So I'm going to go in here. So the thing that is run most of the time is inside zone, and that's what I want to go break down first. But there also is um, uh, power plays, um, which are right here, and we'll also go through those. You got some ISO, some dive, some count, a few little bit of counter, and then they added some duo as well. So I'm going to go, pretty in depth with all those things. But like I said, the first thing that we want to do start with the basics. So I'm just going to come out in an inside zone, and I'm just going to call a random defense here. Now the first thing that's very important to the run game is the box. So with these wide splits, um, you're trying to get a light box to run against and put defenders in conflict. So right now we have a pretty heavy box here with this. We've got looks like six defenders with a seventh in the box here, kind of splitting the difference with that nickel back there. So inside zone is probably um, not the greatest call here because they have the numbers. Some things that you can do, and I meant to mention this as far as part of the run game, is you're going to have a lot of read option, a lot of RPOs, things like that to even the numbers in the run game. So, like I said, right now, um, the numbers are not in our favor. So usually what I would check to is I would either check to a pass play, which given this I probably would, but for the sake of this video, I'm not, but you could do a speed option because it would put the edge defender in conflict where you could run with your quarterback or pitch it out, um, uh, or I would go to a read option. I usually have see like the Y lead read option, um, like because it would put we'd be reading the end here, and if he crashes, then we keep it with our quarterback. If he does not, we hand the ball off. Sometimes I even run this, and it's still just a straight give to the running back because even if he crashes, and this would probably be one of those instances. One, I have Kitzelman here doing like an ISO sniffer block, and then we have the numbers on this side. So, like if I run this, and I'm just going to give a straight handoff And what you want to do with inside zone is because that's still an inside zone play, even though it's with a read. You want to aim for the butt of the center, and then you're cutting off in whatever gap opens. So it's zone running. So you're running towards the butt of the center. You've got the A gaps, which are directly, uh, to the hip of the center. Then you got your B gaps, which is the hip of the guard, and then you got your C gap, which is the hip of the tackle. So, and the way that you're going to read that is, obviously A, and then go to B to C. And usually you want to go to the strong side of the formation, but you can cut back. But you want to start on the strong side, which would be we're going to the left here, so that would be the flow of the play, and then you would cut back, to the right, depending on how the blocks are. Also, another thing that you want to check is if you hit left trigger and then move your right stick to the right, you can see your blocking. So right now, it looks like we have a combo that reaches up to linebacker. Now, in this game, I'm gonna be honest, they don't reach very well. So chances are they're going to be stuck on that double team, and that linebacker is going to be free. So just keep that in mind. I'm just going to snap this, kind of run it out here, and see what we're looking at. Oh, that time he did pick it up. And I know that this is like a pretty standard rule that people know, but you don't want to hit right trigger or sprint until you've gotten past the line of scrimmage, because you get blocked like insta sheds. Like I'll show you right here. I'll just snap it and I'll hit the right trigger and they immediately shed. So don't do that. That's another just like brief rule here. But going back to the box here, you see we have a light box here. We have 2 high safeties. We have 5 in the box basically. And even those ends, like they're not in good position. So this is a perfect time to call an inside zone. This is perfect. This is exactly what you want. So you just read it, and a lot of times you can just let the back carry most of the time. But you want to really read where that linebacker is going. This is another favorable spot here, but again, I'm just reading off of that center, and you're not looking to get home runs on this. Just 3 4 yards is usually my target. Because 4 yards, if you get 4 yards every time, they're never going to stop you. You can get 4 yards the whole way down the field. However you get that is great. So, but that's inside zone there. Pretty basic stuff there. But I did want to kind of go there because it is the foundation of the scheme. The next thing is we're going to go over is power. So power, what that is that you have a pulling guard. Sometimes 2. In this case, it's 1, and then you got your H back here with Kitzelman. And really, with this one, we're not necessarily reading. It's not a zone read. It's gap scheme. It's gap running. So if you see that gap that the blocker is going into, we're going straight down the A gap, and you got an H back to the linebacker here. You can cut these out, but typically you want to just stay with the gap that it's supposed to. It's a gap run scheme, so just keep that in mind. And so we just run up, and there's the hole. It just kind of breaks up there. And we'll just run it a couple more times. They actually have people in the box that time. They had numbers, and as you can see, that's why. And even basically with the numbers, if you've got 5, that's great. That's perfect. If you've got 6, that's still okay. You still have the numbers because you have 5 blockers. In this case, I have an extra blocker with the H back in the backfield, so I can actually, and then I have the running back. So 6 in this situation were we have the numbers. You know, if you're running a traditional inside zone where you're spread out six, you're matching numbers. You have the exact same numbers as they do because you have five linemen and then you're back. So uh, then in that case, like depending on what leverage they have, and how my offensive line is blocked throughout the game, I may change that to a read, even though I'm probably not going to actually read the play, but it will change the blocking. So like if so, see right here, let me pull up the. You see how the blocking is here. Now let me see uh, if they have. I don't know if they have a read here. Oh, well, that's RPO. But what an RPO is, and I'll get to that here in a little bit. Or actually, I'll just go ahead and do that right now because that's important too. So RPOs are really good because they put two defenders in conflict a lot of times if you have a read. Some of them don't have reads, but this one in particular does. So if you see, I have the end that I am able to read here, so I can keep it with my quarterback. And you see the guy with the P over his head. That means a pitch, or he's going to basically want to read him if he plays the pass. So if this end crashes, I'm going to keep it with my quarterback. If he stays, I'm going to hand it off to my running back. But I'm also going to read the pitch man because if he comes in, then I can throw the flat. If he goes out and I keep it with my quarterback, I can run it with my quarterback, or it just takes out the guy if I hand it off to my running back. But I actually read the pitch man first because that's the where the big plays, where the big plays can happen. And but so I'm just gonna snap this out and kind of show you. And it's inside zone again, so the same rules apply. And then you can kind of see the blocking here. See, they're not accounted for because they're accounted for in the play itself. So I snap it out here. Now he kind of went out, so I just kept it with my quarterback there. Let me see what I actually did not read the pitch man on that, but I'll go in. But I think he went. I think he went out because of. So he backed out. So I could have thrown this, but sometimes you get the guy coming hard inside here. So yes, maybe he gets picked up, and there's a gap here, but that's who I saw out of the corner of my eye. Um, so I didn't know if that was the pitch man or not. But since we had the end crash, let me start this back. Since the end crashed, and basically how you know if they're going to crash is you read their outside hip. If he turns, he's going. But if he breaks down, he'll break down and stay square. That's whenever it's a give, or I'm reading that pitch man and I might throw it out here, depending on what that guy does. So, but he crashed here. I didn't feel comfortable with the flat, so you just keep it with the quarterback and get the yards. Um, and like I said, target is 4 yards, so we got about 10 there. So great. Um, all right, and then so I'm gonna go here and let's talk counter. So actually, going off to the yeah, we'll talk counter. We'll go to a counter play here. So so I'm just gonna call Y counter now. With these plays, what you're trying to do here, this is kind of a change of pace run. So if you are giving them inside zone constantly, you can call this because what's going to happen is it's going to start like inside zone. But if you see, we've got our H-back sniffer um, going out and our guard here pulling. And again, this is more of a gap scheme run. So you really want to aim for the target of where it's showing. Let me see how the blocking is. So we should get a double reach up to the linebacker there. So blocking looks good here. But like I said, we're just reading the gap that's trying to open up. Now, as you can see, the backside actually opened up there, but it's very hard to cut that back, is why I say you just kind of, like I said, this is a change of pace run, so you really just want to aim at that target um, uh, with the kick out there and just kind of run it up, like I said, you're trying to get the defense flowing one way, and then hitting them on the back end. Like I said, if you've been running inside zone a lot, this is a very good change of pace um, run here. Like I said, just use it as that, not as a base run play. All right, and then I did want to go over. Let me see here. We do have like the QB blast and stuff. I may go into that, but really, the first formation that I'm going to go over in this series is going to be the wide trips weak. It's a very good. This is basically my base formation that I come out in, and kind of work everything else outside of that. I do use every formation pretty much in this book, but this is like 9 times out of 10. This is what I'm starting out with, and a lot of times I like to start out with this power read. Now with power read, it's similar to read option, but it's the exact opposite as far as the read. So if he crashes, I hand to the running back this time. If he stays, I keep with my quarterback, and it's again inside zone principles really on that. So I'm just kind of reading that. If it's a give, it's a sweep concept. We're just running to grass. We're just trying to get to grass. We got some pull. We got a puller here. So like I said, in this play, like I said, the target is always 3 to 4 yards, kind of thing. So, but it can break out, depending on things here. And another thing that this kind of brings up is the mic ID. Now, honestly, I don't know how much difference this really makes in the blocking a lot of times, but just in general football terms and what I just do anyways, when you want to know who the mic is, I could go into like detail of it's actually like you read the box from, but it's not the same box as what the outside of your tackles. It's really the inside foot of the edge players, or the inside foot of your tackles is the box that you read. And then so in this case you would read this as like a 2x2. It's really like a 4-3 is what they would kind of read that as. I'm not going to go into full detail with that. That's a lot more explaining than needs for this game. But where your point is, so the play is going to the right. So the way that if I ID this mic, what is supposed to happen is that's where you typically, if you have a combo block or a reach block from your lineman, they're going to get to the mic first, and then the backside goes to the left. It always goes to the left of the mic. So since we have 2 linebackers here and we've got one on the weak side here, I'd want to ID him as the mic so that weak side would also be picked up. Because if I have him ID'd, then to the left of him would be this end here. So that's just kind of the basics there. Like I said, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's just for this game. That's about all that you need to know. So I'm just going to read this end here and see what he does. He stays, so I keep with my quarterback, and I just run up. And a lot of here's a trick for the run game too. Right now, it's kind of bugged where you can still do your playmaker moves while on conservative. So whenever you do this, especially since we're running along with our quarterback, you just want to change that to conservative so that you limit fumbles and everything. And you can still do your ball carrying moves if you didn't know. They'll probably patch that. They patched it in the game before, and then it comes out and it's got the same issue. But yes, like I said, just with the power read again, and again, this is helping us with numbers. They have 6 in the box here, so I mean technically we could call inside zone. I also in this formation have read option as an audible here. And I run that a lot, like in just regular inside zone. Like I don't even read that player a lot of times, and just try to get it out. But I mean, obviously, it's a run, so it's not always going to work. But if you read the numbers, you're putting yourself in an advantageous situation. So I'm just going to go again. He stayed again, so I just kept it. And a lot of times, the power read, keeping it with your quarterback is the more favorable outcome, because a lot of times these corners can still get into the play depending on how your blocking is. So, and again, you just want to read that blocking there. Let's see here. And so, I did keep, but sometimes the game doesn't read. Maybe if you hit it later, it doesn't trigger that. So, but again, like I said, I'm just making sure my mic ID is correct and everything, and then he's constantly going here. And sometimes you have honestly, I don't think that the read guy is going to be the D tackle here. I think it's still going to be the end. Sometimes it glitches like that. Let me just okay, so it is going to be it's showing it's going to be the D tackle, so that's what we're going to read. A lot of times if it's the D tackle, I just hand off anyways, because he can't really make a play on it. But see, like it really doesn't work right if it's the D tackle. So that's just kind of a weird thing with the coding in the game. But anyways, let me see if he did let and see. That's why this play is kind of difficult. If they I'm gonna try to get him to see if he. Damn it! Sorry guys, I'm messing up. But it's practice mode, so alright. I'm reading it, and he stayed, so keep. Oops. Let me crash down here real quick. I'm hitting turbo too much. Okay. See, like a lot of times with that, the corners just I didn't even hit turbo there. They just our receivers missed a block. So, like I said, the ideal thing is that the end stays, and then you can run inside with the quarterback. But I mean, you're going to have negative run plays. Biggest thing is consistency with the play. But that's power read, and let's see here. Went over RPOs, inside zone, counter, power. We do have your dives and ISOs. So let me go back here. And dive is pretty simple. It is not a zone. Where is dive? Where are you, dive? There it is. Okay. So dive, very simple. It's not zone. I mean, you can, again, with anything, you can really, make reads, and you probably want to do that, but 9 times out of 10, you're going just like up the gap and trying to get yards. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, there I broke it out because, you just kind of read your blocks, but 9 times out of 10, you're going head up and going in one of the gaps. That's pretty much dive. And then now a good change up as well to your inside zone and everything is a trap play. So what this is that you're letting the tackle or linebacker up the hole, and then you have your guard here that's going to trap them, uh, theoretically. And this is really good also whenever you're going up against users that are going to like try to shoot the gap consistently, because a lot of good users can actually defend the run with light boxes like this, because they just, with their linebacker, they time it right and shoot the gap and tackle you before you can get into your reads. Um, but like I said, it can also work well. And so, see how you trapped that defensive tackle, the three tech, or yeah, three tech, um, on the play here. And again, it's a change of pace run. So you have your typical, like I said, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be doing inside zones. Um, that's what I run most of the time in this game, or read, some kind of read option, RPO, things like that. Um, and there's tons of RPOs, like I said, but they kind of work the same way. You have a conflict defender, as I said, and if it's a read, then you also have a read that you can make as well. But yeah, so that's 0-1 trap. And then the last is duo, and the reason that it's called duo is because we have combo blocks across the board. So all of these guys are getting doubled, and this was actually really good in the last game, but it wasn't in this playbook. It's okay this year. I run it again. It's a kind of a change of pace play here, but you see like the guard, uh, guard and center, and then the guard and tackle. They all both do a combo, and there he just went immediately up. He didn't double. He just went up to the linebacker quick. But you get double. You get two combo blocks typically on the play, and that's why it's called duo. And you just, this one is kind of reading the blocks, but like I said again, a lot of times you're going up the A gap. Sometimes you might break it out to B gap, but there is reads that you make here because of the combos. So like you can break this out sometimes. Um, and yeah, so but that's basically the run game there. And so I mean, this is, like I said, the foundation, and what you want to do, just getting better at this stuff. Um, Again, is just, you want to just get in practice mode, what I'm doing here, and just pick a random defense and just run it and then read it out. Like here, I would want to audible to either a read option or an RPO, so that way I have favorable numbers in the box. And I really, that's, if you look at all my audibles um, and stuff here, which this formation I don't run a whole lot. It's two tight end set, but let me go to my Y off trips, like, or week here that I was running. Like, say I come out in a inside zone, right? I've got my audible set up. I've got the power read, got the read option here, and then I've got pass plays that I use a lot. And this is more like a screen pass, but it can double as kind of a run pass option situation here because of the pulling. You sometimes can get good um, with your quarterback, but I'll go more in depth on that whenever I cover screens and the quick passing game for this offense. But see, I can, I've got the inside zone here that I come out in, and then I have two other runs that I can switch to depending on the box that I'm getting. So like here, it would be a favorable box to. Uh, they've got 6 in the box, so again, in the inside zone, uh, I would be matching numbers if I went with the inside handoff. So you can do that. You just have a little bit more success. And like I said, whenever it's like this, when I have 6 in the box, I'm not even reading that guy. What I'm doing there is I'm just leaving him as a free defender, because even if he crashes, a lot of times he can't even make the play. Now, sometimes he will make the play backside. That's just football. But with the amount of space that my running back is going to have whenever the handoff happens, a lot of times it just helps with my blocking because now they're not accounting for that guy, so they're working. And I really don't know why this double is going up to the safety. That's weird. Blocking, I would much rather than kind of. But I guess that would be the closest man off of this because everyone else is manned up. But anyways, so we just snapped that, and then he stayed there. But even if he crashed, if you noticed, he has a lot of in here. It's you've got more in the box than you think because you got the safeties now come down close to the line of scrimmage, and you have that nickel there. So even though they got 3 down linemen, now when you're running inside zone, the good thing with that is a lot of times if you do run this, the guys in the box, like the safeties and the nickel, they're still out too wide to make plays. So sometimes, but as you can see, like they're able to shoot down quicker. So even though that looked like a favorable box, it was not because you got to still pay attention to the nickel and the safeties. So like here, I would probably go to a read here. See, even though he crashed down, he cannot catch up to the running back. So it's not really a read, but you do want to switch to the read because it changes the blocking assignments. Yeah, so that is running. Sorry for the shitty quality or whatever, but this is just the start of the series. Just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.